guys, welcome back to Heal and Learn. This is Zorina. I'm welcoming Ogi Karam back to the channel. And right now we're gonna talk about his upcoming course, Beyond Finance, Economic Empowerment in Times of Crisis. We all know what's ahead of us. The announcement of the course started already in March, so we knew already back then. And now it's even more unavoidable, let's say. And Ogi has a lot to share on the question of how to survive with means other than money. What does it mean for you, Ogi, economic empowerment in times of financial crisis?
Well, I mean, thank you for the introduction, Zori. Well, it means that you need to figure out alternative ways to manage your household, your social life, and without neglecting your values, without sacrificing the things you want to do, your needs. And of course, if you live in a society that is very much depending on money, in terms to get the goods or services that are needed for a standard life. Of course, it's difficult at some point to switch into a different mindset. Unfortunately, we didn't have choice in Bulgaria, and we used to switch just to survive. So I'm now very happy to say that I had this experience living in Bulgaria, which so far is one of the poorest economically country, but actually it's not as poor as people think. So we as a society have evolved to use monetary system because at some point we saw that it can help us to exchange goods and services. However, we already lost the value of it. And if you want, you can comment on this. The fact is that there is an economic crisis because the money as we know it doesn't give security to the people. For example, the very famous $1 bill, and I'm saying the dollar because it's still the world currency. It
Not
has
for
the
long,
inscription.
they say.
Yeah, still. I mean, still it is, and it had the inscription "In God We Trust," and till the 74, I think. It also had this very famous gold equivalent. Now I think that nobody's trusting in something higher than, some very special people, and the gold standard or the gold equivalent is also removed. So actually, this is also only paper.
But now there are talks, this is important, for returning to the gold standard that would be pegged to a digital currency, possibly based on Ripple technology, on the company Ripple. So eventually we might return, but of course it's not going to be the same world as in 74. It's going to be a world where, digital currencies and central bank digital currencies will be linked or pegged to the euro. So that means, again, full control. So we are talking about two steps. Basically, we have to survive the fall now, the economic fall, the upcoming financial collapse that would then be, replaced by the introduction of this new system where we would go back to the pegged to the gold dollar. And then we have another dilemma. What do we do if we don't want to participate? So I think that your course actually somehow covers both aspects. But let's talk about the first hurdle that the whole of society is going to see now, which is the potential, hopefully not, but very likely hunger due to a deep financial crisis. I know that you've
I-
survived in Barcelona without housing, without money. How did you do that?
well, I mean, it's not that I survived without, let's say I had very limited resources. And the thing is that you can always talk with people and negotiate, and we are not used very much in certain countries to try to negotiate and uh, exchange services without using the money. For example, my flatmate was hungry like 3 days ago, and he found food in the fridge, which was mine, and he was hungry. I said, "Okay, take it," and he wanted to refill it. And today I found, or I took his card for the washing machine. It had like €4, and I said, okay, now it's even. So it's just a value that is between us. So we can exchange it in so many ways if we want. Um, so there are.
I'll give you another example related to this free exchange. So when I went back to Bulgaria last year, and I was looking, or I think 2 years ago when I went for the summer, I was looking to buy a car and have a car locally. Then I asked my hairdresser there, do you know somebody who can help me? He said, yeah, I know this person, a friend of mine, go there, he'll help you. The guy gave me all the information, drove me around for a while, then directed me to the right mechanic, who a few times that I went there said, you don't need to pay me. And I can tell you, this is not because of my pretty face, for sure not. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt about that, but, but I don't think that was the reason, because he said, hey, you've forgotten how we deal in Bulgaria. You've lived
Yeah.
abroad for too long. You've forgotten how it works here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's much more about the money, because for example, the word in Bulgaria, bazar, yeah, it comes or is it's related to pazarese. It means that you negotiate. So the markets in the ancient times in most of the countries, and now in several countries still, are places where people communicate. They exchange not only money, they exchange information, they exchange news. Yeah, and nowadays we are so obsessed by this technology that will give us the possibility just to enter a market without human interaction and take whatever we want, and this will be just took from our account. However, you don't have this interaction with people. You don't have this energy exchange. For example, imagine you go to a market and a lovely lady gives you a fruit. She smiles at you and she asks you, "How are you? How is your family?" This you cannot take from the machine, right? So, and this is something related to energy, to the life force that I also want to speak, because when you were mentioning digital money, I want just to say two words: bit flip, or another two words will be solar storm. Uh, People who want to research further, they just can type bit flip or solar storm. What I'm referring is that how fragile is our technology. Just in 1 second, the whole system as we know it, the digital system, will or can be ruined. Just a solar storm from the sun is able to destroy everything, and it's happening because there is a radiation going through Earth, but it was still not as strong in the last 50 years when we had this network developed. But there was a powerful solar storm in the ancient times where we haven't this electronic network. So for me, the digital technology as we know it now, based on binary code, is absolutely not secure, and it's just not something that I want to rely. I rely on things that were 100 years ago, 200, 1,000, 10,000 years ago. Um, and we were talking about water, and I was kind of challenged to think how this conversation suits now the topic of finance and economic, how water can be related to money. And
Well,
then, yeah,
there are two things. I know where you're getting with that, but there's also a talk that water can be a new currency, because not only because of its vibration, but because of the scarcity of pure water that might come soon.
yeah. I mean, uh, we had valued gold because in the ancient time, gold was used by priests, by by the top level of people who were ruling the society because of his property. Gold was giving them a certain property because it has a certain structure. It gives certain people abilities, and they used this uh, for the accomplishment of the work they had. Uh, However, now what we have as paper or as value is nothing. I mean, I'm referring to water because water has absolutely direct impact on us. We need water. Our body is 70 or 80 percentage of water. There are maybe 100 processes in our body, and these are essential processes that depend on water. Uh, Also, not only water, but also clean water. And we need it desperately. We need desperately water to sustain our life, and this is something very directly connected to our life and well-being. So if someone gives me 50 euros, I cannot eat this money. I need to maybe buy a water with them or do something with them, and then yeah, I can nurture myself. And nowadays, because we are transitioning into a more energetical level of existence, we will be more and more concerned about the energy and about the energy properties of the things around us. And the amazing things about water is that we can create living water. We, with our intention, with our words, emotions, or crystals, or whatever else, can transform this water and create living water. And this has direct impact on our health, and mental health, emotional health, and holistic well-being. And I think very soon people will search for certain solution, and I will totally not be surprised. Then in the future we'll have something like coffee house or tea house, but instead of tea, they will be serving water. For
Charged.
example, water from amethyst crystal, water charged by new moon, water charged by chants, by whatever ceremony, rituals, and so on. Because now science proved that this is not some voodoo nonsense. Yes, water is able to create certain shapes. This is the reason why I want that we call the course Beyond Finance, because I want to challenge people to think outside of the box. To think beyond finance for me means that they need also to think uh, outside of the topic finance, which is kind of related to the fine. You know, the word in English, fine. It means that okay, I gave you something, so you are in debt, or I need to collect money. The whole system as we have it now is about taking money, right? It's the whole approach is to take, to take, to take. And what I'm saying is that in this new age, in this new consciousness that we are going to, it will be not about taking, it will be about giving.
May I
So,
also comment here on this thing, because I
yeah,
had a
sure.
similar conversation with a friend of mine, and it was about the culture or the community where we operate in. Because let's say we use these tools and we start bargaining and exchanging and giving, but we're in a community that doesn't accept this well, that have a completely different culture. Eventually, you're going to deplete yourself. You're only going to give, and you're never going to receive anything back. So the community wouldn't naturally support you.
Mm.
And I'm sure that you've experienced this maybe after you've moved from Bulgaria, when you were in Germany, when you were in Spain, when you were giving, and you didn't receive anything back because you operated in a different culture. So how do we overcome this? Do we just need to find the community that will support this type of living, or what do you think about that?
Well, that's why it's important to raise the topic, because I met here some people who had who have a very well created material life, but they still lack of let's say spiritual awareness or other things that are not material. So for me, it's important to talk about sharing and exchanging, because one person can have something, he might even have material resources, but it doesn't mean that he has everything. We used more than we lived in a culture more than 2,000 years that was praising material possession as the ultimate goal, because it was like this. Yes, it was money. It was that your clothes were speaking who you are, your status in the society, as much material possessions you had. This was significant for your social status and so on. But now it's not like this. Your vibe, your vibration will be your signature. Your vibration is telling the people who you are. Your vibration, not your possessions. So there will be children now coming more and more who will be very sensitive and who will be able to differentiate between the people with low and high vibration. And material possession is not something that we will praise in the age of Aquarius, where we have more early signs and we are moving into more subtle consciousness, or more subtle way of dealing with the reality. So um, and
And I suppose this still won't be valid for everybody, because not everyone is sensitive enough to feel the energy emitting from you. I mean, most people are taken at face value. What they see, they're not felt on the first glance by the majority of people. So we're still talking about a community where this can operate, I suppose.
yeah, that's why my course is for people who want to join or create such a community. Imagine how strong will be the intention of even only 5 or 6 people or 10 people who want to create a project, or who want to know themselves, who want to know what is their value, what they can contribute to the society. Uh, I'm giving this a very simple example. Imagine you go in a foreign country and you have no money. Okay, you are in a foreign society and you have no money. How will you survive without, of course, killing or doing robbery or whatever? The point is that when you do this mental experiment, you will realize if you are able to create value for others or not. Because if you are a millionaire who just have the money, you will not be able to survive in such a society. Because what will you say to the people? Oh, you know who am I? yeah, you should know who you are, and you have a mission. It's not about who you are. It's about what value you can give to other people. So that's why I was taught by my grandfather to always to learn. And when I see that someone is good at doing something, to stay there, to watch and to learn this skill, because you never know how this can help you. And in Bulgaria, we are very much into helping each other, and on average, Bulgarian is much more skillful than people in other cultures when they depend on money to pay for every service. So, yeah, this mental experiment can show a lot of people what they can contribute in the society. And suddenly, a lot of people might realize that they just have money. They, I mean, they just have money and they pay to people to do the stuff, but they actually haven't the ability. And my course is about discovering this ability, not only what you can do for yourself, your personal development. Of course, yes, everybody can develop himself, but then you need to look at your value in relationship to the society. Because yes, you can raise Kundalini, you can open your third eye, and all the good stuff. But then what? What will be your role in the society, right? So we need to see how all of us, after going to the personal development, which is great, how we then can develop as a group of people. And I think it's also very important that people discover their thing and say, "Wow!" For example, I'm a I'm a shoemaker, or
Your video
I have.
disappeared, Ogi, for a second.
Oh wait, um,
Maybe while you're fixing it, I can read some of the contents of your course. Ogi disappeared, yeah, so I can finish off by reading this. So what you're going to learn at his course that is called Beyond Finance, Economic Empowerment in Times of Crisis. You will find this course on healandlearn.com/courses. So you will learn more about experimental economic alternative trading system, negotiation, mediation, bargaining, exchange, social relationships. You want to explore your value, and this in the context of our society. These are questions that Ogi had posted. Do you want to know how to survive even the hardest financial restrictions? Do you want to live more with less? Do you want to step from personal into group development? If you have answered at least 3 times with yes, I'd be happy to welcome you in the course. Again, these are Ogi's words. I guess I'll end it here. I'll have the link below this video, guys, and do comment if you have any questions. And do send us an email. You can send an email to office@healandlearn.com, or the other email is written under the course. You can write Ogi directly if you have questions about the course.